Venerable Sir, all the questions are on meditation. There are 4 questions. One is lacks information, but I will submit it anyway. It really lacks information, okay? One of them has 3 questions within it.
Okay. So, dear Venerable Sister and brothers, Dhamma friends, today also we are going to start the question and answer session. As usual, the Sudhu Amdro will present written questions to start the session.
Thero Saranai, Most Venerable Bhante. While meditating, thoughts occur to formulate the Kamatahan report. It is becoming difficult to put the experience gained during meditation into words. Hence, much of the time is taken for formation of thoughts for the above purpose. Can this be labeled as mental proliferation? Please advise. May the blessings of the Noble Triple Gem be with you.
So when I was in Panditaram also, there was a Singaporean monk and he has language problem. So he bought a translator or the dictionary, so he has to write it there and get the English version of his interview reports. So when reporting to the shadow, he told, my presenting report in English in the format is difficult, it's a burden. So my meditation is upset. Then Sayadaw told that don't worry about the writing, just tell what you experience. Therefore, these are techniques, these are tools, don't take it as a burden. If it's helpful, you may use it, otherwise you may take the mic and just tell me what is the kind of thing you would like to communicate. And my request is, please talk short to the point and to the subject. If it is so, you can do away with writing and overnight thinking. Just take the mic and tell me when you are sitting, how is the relationship with your primary object, how is the nodding, and what did you experience, and away from the primary object, what are the other things, but you have to start with the primary object. In walking also the same. So therefore all the tools, all the techniques are your servants. Don't take it as a burden or don't take it as a master. So this is the way. If the carpenter is not so skillful, he do not know how to use the tool, then you damage itself. So these things, the reporting system, is evolved in 4 stages. Of course, it is only applicable to the literal people. So when you are dealing with some people, those who have no writing power and the grammatical understanding, language understanding, this method will not work. And even if someone is considering this as a burden, and then it is a artificial difficulty created by the master. I apologize for that. But without this communication, without this dialogue, very difficult to guide only by talk. So therefore I invite that particular person to take the mic and express but whatever he or she wishes to inform, then it's okay.
Can the person identify himself or herself? I have the mic in my hand.
Most Venerable Bhante, with your permission, actually I have no difficulty in the sense that the conversion to some extent in English, but the question I wanted to ask, whether that is falling into the category of mental proliferation.
No, leave it aside, tell me your report, then I can understand what you say. What is your, when you are sitting, can you face to face with your primary object like breath or sitting posture? When you are walking, can you be with the left and the right or your walking posture without talking that? Whatever you ask is just prapancha, just misleading the society, just misleading the time. So therefore, before going into that, you have to give some inputs. Then with respect to that input, I can understand the question or whatever the problem you are asking. So therefore, never ask in a written form without giving your account, without one of your successful sitting or successful walking. It is what I would like to avoid. So therefore, I again invite, please give me your relationship with your primary object, either in sitting or walking, and how that reporting problem appear while in sitting and walking after explaining the primary object. I really take the responsibility to analyze it and show it, not this way. This is not the way.
Venerable Sir, the second question is actually my experience. I have written it down.
Don't put the second. This is the first and foremost. And putting the tail before the head, the cart before the tail, horse, is the one simple thing I would like to avoid. And it has been very clearly indicated when you are writing, write your one of the best sitting or walking, put that experience with respect to the time which is more confronted with the primary object, and later you put the question, later you put the difficulties, so the presentation is positive. Otherwise you are asking trouble because you give the problem the priority. So that is something to be avoided, and that is what I call vipassana. In vipassana we never worry about the questions. The whole world of problems, amidst of that, how often, how occasionally we can be aligned with the primary object, maybe walking, maybe sitting, we talk only that. Then life becomes positive. Otherwise, you better read newspapers, you better listen to the radio, you better go to the TV, all the mistakes are there. So therefore, forgetting about the first question, second I will ask you to please tell me, please present your experience with the primary object, either sitting or in walking.
Venerable Sir, during the sitting and walking meditation, my sitting meditation, the primary object is observing the elementary characteristics, feelings and thoughts. In the walking meditation, apart from those, the lifting, moving and dropping. During the past 1.5 days, there was outpouring of inner thoughts, mainly dominating all the above, what I have mentioned.
More prolific thoughts you find in sitting or in walking?
More in the sitting. It was like a chain of thoughts.
No, because you are completely wrong in sitting. In sitting you are observing the 4 elements. You are observing the thoughts, feelings. So it is never mentioned in your primary, in the basic instructions or in talks. It is to say, in what object you find the 4 elements. You find 4 elements in the body or 4 elements in the breath.
4 elements in the body.
So they tell me when you are sitting, how manifests, how the 4 element manifest. Does it manifest as the hardness and softness, or movements and the stillness and liquidity or fluidity and cohesiveness? What kind of thing you experience?
Vibrations, movements, pouring like movements, heart feelings, then contracting like movements.
So these are natural. This is the way it is happening. When you are going to say, I feel 4 elements, it's a complete theoretical. It's a complete mind-made. It's complete deductive thinking. So therefore, when whatever you feel, just don't put technical terms. Just say, I feel hardness, stiffness, tension, movements. Then I feel it. Instead, if you are going to say, I feel 4 faculties or 6 faculties and 4 elements and first and the second truth of suffering, noble truth of this thing, that means I know you are talking nonsense. And so far, we have given very simply and very humbly, whenever you have focused the attention to the body, what you feel, without using these technical terms. Technical terms is, nothing to worry about that. You can later use it, but at the beginning, when you sit, how do you feel? And still I would say, with the limited amount I gain, whenever this kind of thing happens, do you feel you are with your primary object or sitting posture, or still while observing, while within the framework of your body, do you have this prolific thinking?
While I was observing all these movements, I tend to...
You are not speaking to the mic.
I think while I was observing these movements and hardness and it's sometimes warmth as well, I tend to see through them about these inner thoughts and the feelings also. When those things become predominant or dominating the primary object, I switch off the observation to mainly to those inner thoughts and just observe them.
Oh, I will ask the question put this way. While you observe the stiffness, tension movements, the thoughts are coming and feelings are coming. Still, are you sure you are sitting or you are not sure you are sitting?
I'm sure I was anyway sitting. See.
That's it. That is what you are getting the full marks. So you are sitting. Occasionally it goes to the stiffness, tension, the verily happening in the physical phenomena of the body. And sometimes predominantly you have thinking. But don't see through the 4 elements or stiffness, tension and go into the thoughts. Instead what you have to do is, while this stiffness, tension happens, while the predominant thoughts happen, feeling happens, see through it and see I am sitting. Then you get full marks. So that is nothing, no complaint. Maybe physical part is less and mental part is high. Something like wandering mind and the feelings. No, never mind. As far as you know, you are within the frame. Or whenever necessary, you can go into the sitting posture. And to make it my point clear and to get the communication, I may ask this question. Do you feel your familiarity to sitting posture, your friendliness to the sitting posture increasing or decreasing?
Increasing.
That's it. That is the achievement of our meditation retreat, not only you. So without telling that, if you are first going to ask that I think about reporting it and is it a prapancha or mental proliferation, is completely misleading. So simply you have to say, while I am sitting, occasionally I can see stiffness, tension movements, and predominantly I can see wandering thoughts and feeling, but still, if I can see through it, then you are the best in the retreat. If you can report in this way. I don't expect that kind of a perfection, but this is the idea I wish to communicate. Only report the positive things. Amidst of all the distractions, all the kind of thing, then you can understand even a tsunami happen. Mindfulness will not get washed off. Or your attention to understanding that I am sitting cannot. So much so, you are gaining. And my way of presenting is, as far as you know stiffness, tension, movements as the physical phenomena of the body, and you are sitting, you know sitting. And with compared to that another situation, physical phenomena is less and mental proliferation, wandering mind, feelings are high, but still you can see the sitting posture. Out of these two, I am very happy to say, the second situation where more challenge, but still you can say you are mindful is the most colorful mindfulness. This is the most adventurous mindfulness. So that is the idea I would like to communicate. So therefore don't put difficulties or unclear situation or failures. Instead, see amidst of all the kind of thing, my familiarity with the sitting posture is increasing. And with that kind of outlook, if I am to ask you to rewrite your question, I can listen completely different story. So therefore, tomorrow also please put it this way, while you are walking, thinking can happen, seeing can happen, feelings can happen, and wind movements can happen. Still you may see the left and the right or lifting, moving, whatever may be. See the possibility, how much amidst of all the bombarding objects, how much you know you are walking, you are not sitting. And if you can report up to that presentation, and we have achieved something. So you will never ask that how to report, or is thinking about reporting is a prapancha. Yes, it is, yes, but anyway, we have got the enough marks. So therefore, even though it is difficult communication, the mistake is with the master. Nothing to worry. Because this is not our day-to-day bread-winning game. This is a completely new story, completely new ways and means. So therefore, our talk, our encounter, our dialogue is helpful for others to understand. Put everything in a positive way. Don't go for details. Instead, get the body posture as your primary object and see the relationship with the body posture. If it is increasing, maybe within the body posture, rising and falling, breath and lifting, dropping also there. Within the body, thoughts are there, feelings are there. Never mind. They are unruly. They are bewildered. But you basically understand my relationship with the body posture increasing. That is a very, very positive statement. You are the only qualified person to make it, and you made it. So don't think about the other proliferations and the prapancha. The simple and the straightforward advice is, you have to think what are the ways and means to keep the relationship with the body. Do that. That's it. Don't worry about the distractions. Then more and more you talk, more and more you deal with distraction will be fertilized, will be fed. So don't do it. Instead see, amidst of all the kind of thing, how much you can be with how much you can friendly with the bodily posture. And if it is increasing, that is the way you must present that is what we call the positive way, productive way reporting.
Can I just ask one more on that?
Yes, please.
This is actually sometimes the movements are not there in the body, feelings are also not there, but thoughts were coming one after the other. Then I thought I must observe those the thoughts.
So this is the thing not to do.
Is that the reason?
Don't do it. Your thoughts coming and you thinking about thoughts. Both of them you can say thought without a thinker and thought with a thinker. And if you read the book known as The Thought Without a Thinker by Epstein, he would say 99% of your thoughts are without a thinker. They are not yours. They are not making any defilements unless you claim they are distraction, they are positive, these are my willful thinking, and that kind of misappropriated claims are the defilements. So any person you ask in the audience, everyone is the same boat. So therefore don't fertilize it. And whenever thinking happens, or thinking doing, it's a very, very, the shades of meanings are very not so clear. Willful thinking and passive thinking. So passive thinking, even the Buddha, after the fully enlightenment, it was there. But the only thing was, he never complained. But the people, those who are not meditating, that's the first and foremost complaint. And that very complaining is fertilizing this thinking. So discriminate thinking, thought without a thinker and thought with a thinker. As far as thought with the thinker is there, you are defiled. You are answerable. You are committed. And even so much of thought without thinkers are there, only refuge, only reference point, only benchmark is be with your primary object, be with your materiality, be with your then and the object, then later the thoughts will be not available, but they will be not regarded, not concerned, not encountered, so they will be null and void. But you have something to do, that is your sitting posture, and then thoughts may be there. That is to say, when we are discussing here, some people come here and start talking. No problem. We can keep on our relationship. They will come, they are not related to us. Why worry about that? As far as our communication is take place, so therefore, don't think about thinking. That is a fertilizer, that is a feeding. Instead, always give the priority to the materiality. Give something verifiable. The thought, whether it is passive thinking or active thinking, you can't verify. That is so subtle, so leave it aside. go for the verifiable thing, go for the concrete thing, go for the three-dimensional thing. So keep again and again, as much as possible with the sitting posture. Then you may find it is something practical, something pragmatic, rather than giving priority for the material thing like thinkings and feelings. And you mentioned that there are moments, there are no movements. There are moments, there are no feelings. Don't talk about it. In Vipassana reporting, word no is not available. Because you are being asked to tell what is prominent. So why should you give the list of not available things? So therefore, whenever it happens, take it into the grant that, okay, well and done. But still, I have to be with my body. Whatever may be, yet another aspect of it, either existence of your body, stiffness, tension, movements, or thinking, or feeling indicates you are not dead. They indicate you are not sleeping. They indicate you are not unconscious. You are mindful. So all these are symptoms or signs. You are vigilant, you are diligent, you are mindful. So put it in this way, not in the negative way. Whatever the activity happens, it's an indication I am not dead, I am not sleeping, I am not unconscious. So you can say thoughts are there, therefore I know I am living. Thoughts are there, therefore I know I am not sleeping. Thoughts are there, I know it is my object of meditation, so I am mindful. So whether it is on the body or thoughts, never mind, because it is under the nose experience, very experienced then and there.
Thank you very much. I am very grateful to you, sir.
So my only sorry is it is happening in the last day, or nearing the last day. If you can bring that kind of a dialogue in the first day and clarify, you would have saved number of experience and days and would have jumped.
I was writing questions actually and putting it, but this kind of a problem did not encounter during the previous days, sir. So I did not get a chance to talk. And can I withdraw the second question? That is
no. Do you have some more there?
That is the one with the green line on the top. The paper has a green line.
If I come across the paper with the green line, I will not read it. Okay.
No, with the green light. Do you have something with the red light?
I don't see this one yet.
Maybe some with the red
maybe
light.
that was the one that had to be rewritten.
Oh, she withdrew it, so you make...
you withdrew it. Okay,
yeah.
Yes. Good. Next question. Most Venerable Bhante, my concentration in sitting meditation is not consistent. How could I get over it? Your valuable advice will be much appreciated at this rare opportunity. Thank you. Thero Saranai. Incomplete information. Please speak to retreat organizer, Metta. Okay. This one should have been removed.
There also our relationship, our contract and everything is not related to the concentration. It is related to the mindfulness. So that with that particular person can give some information, if at all available, what is your effort and what is the resultant mindfulness, not the concentration. Then I can see the relationship to the concentration if it is available. Otherwise, this is a very, very basic preliminary mistakes. This retreat is for the mindfulness. If you have come with the idea of the concentration, it's an utter disappointment. But with that disappointment, I am never get disappointed. Because the instructions are not being carefully listened. But for me, it's 122nd time. For you, it may be the first time. So you can take another time, listen to the first sentence. This retreat is for the mindfulness, not for the concentration. And this is a very serious problem when you go for the one-day retreat, where they are not listening to the instructions, and they wanted to answer their questions. So I am cut off all the questions telling anything related to the mindfulness, anything related to the basic instructions we are taking. Others, I give it to the retreat organizer just to remind that this is the recipe we have. If you need that recipe, you can go for the normal price. If you need a la carte, it's a special payment you have to make. This is today's special. Today's special is mindfulness. If you are ordering out of that, with the a la carte, I don't know whether I am presenting in this way, is a separate issue. So it's both the questions. Both the questions are basically not concerned about how to report and not concerned about the basic instructions. So therefore I have to draw the attention to go back to the normal and see when you sit what you feel. When you walk, what you feel. Don't decide I got a good concentration or bad concentration. That value judgment is not asked for. It is not invited. What you have to report is what you experience. Then it's a very good raw material for the discussion. So therefore this question also, I don't feel like taking time.
Last night, 1 hour sitting. After a few in and out breaths focusing on my nostrils, I could not feel my body nor my breath anymore. Only strong vibrations on the upper parts of the body. This went on for half an hour, a tight feeling in my head and pain on the neck. Then a few random thoughts and again the vibrations resumed, this time involving the entire body in a different movement and continuing for 1 hour. These strong vibrations come to me also when I am listening to sermons or am at religious places. Please help me as this is very embarrassing in public. Second part. As an alternative to this vibrating situation, when I do sitting meditation, my spit starts running down my throat and the sweat down my spine. I note this as water element. Then I get a hot feeling on the soles of my feet and hot patches on my legs. This I note as fire element. Then I feel the hardness in my head and the hard bottom area of my body. This I note as the earth element. Then I note the movement of my body mostly vibrating as the air element. Please, Bhante, inform me as to how the Dhammanupassana meditation is done properly.
If the vibration, whether it is irritating or whether it is pleasant, if you are sure it is not a mind-made, if it is, you are sure it is not a hallucination, take this as your primary object and see how much you can be with this vibration. Or further you can say, does that vibration indicate that you are not dead? Does that vibration indicate you are not sleeping? Does that vibration indicate that you are not unconscious? See, if it is so, whether the object is desirable or not, pleasant or unpleasant, the vibration, you have to make it as your primary object. That vibration may be different facets and maybe some changes. Never mind. If as far as it is not a mind-made, as far as it is not a dream, as far as it is not a hallucination, that's the object of meditation. And the deep truth is, whenever you are in the present moment, whenever you are here and now, you feel this vibration, you hate it. That is why you listen to, you are happy to be with other people, other time, yesterday, tomorrow and other things. So this is the truth of suffering. The Buddha mentioned, if you really give up all the objectives and all the other daydreaming and come back to the life, this is what you feel. So therefore you hate it. Throughout the samsara you have done it. And that is why you love other people. That's why you love the past. That's why you love the future. The very day you understand, sometimes it is irritating, it's bitter in taste, but hardly it is become unbearable. So therefore you have to be friendly with it. The day you become friendly with it, then you find that it's a datum line. You can't go below. And you have to put up with. And that vibration never leave you. It's always with you. Whether you are standing or sitting or you are walking or you are sleeping. So once you get that kind of a friend, this kind of a walking stick. So once you selected this as a primary object, 24 hours you are mindful. That vibration can appear like different shapes, never mind. Now, this particular person says whatever may be, but vibration become prominent. So my simple suggestion is make the vibration your primary object. I accept, I agree. It is not may not be pleasant or may not be the desirable. But never mind, the vibration as such is the flux, that is the life continuum, or it is what we call the just being. To be with it, and once it is being familiarized, once it becomes your second nature, you find whatever the measures you are making, vibration never leave you. So therefore you get the nearmost prominent object to keep the mindfulness. So try to be friendly with it and try to familiarize it and try to keep it under your very nose. Then you are protected. Stream of consciousness never go to defilements. Only the defilement is you have the basic hate that you have to understand. And with that, if you can continue, this will be a blessing in disguise.
This is a continuation on this. This is a further question on the same sheet of paper. Often in public places, I go into a state of deep happiness, not feeling my body nor my breath, and very detached from everything and everybody. This lasts sporadically for 10 to 15 minutes. This state comes to me always as a surprise when it comes, and it is not during meditation times. Thank you, Bhante, for guiding us.
So this is something related to perception. Everything comes through the gates of the perception. But wherever you go, you see unknown perception or no perception, your ego feel lost. Your conceit feel lost. Your liking and disliking get lost. So therefore, sanya nidānāni papanca sankha, all your mental proliferation, all your storytelling, all your entanglement is nothing but a perception. So the day you know how to handle the perception, and when the perception ceases to exist, then there is no ego, then there is no conceit, then there is no desire. But if you consider this as a lost, if you consider this as a outcasting, if you consider it as the punishment, then you fear the unknown, you fear the truth, you fear the Nibbana. So this is what the ambiguity in the samsara. So imagine if you are ready to accept it, you go prepared with no perception situation, then the Buddha said there cannot be Nama-rupa. There cannot be any mentality and physicality, because everything manifests through the perception. So some people, 1/3 of the world population is perception-based people. They perceive through fixing labels and or coding and decoding system. So there are situations where no perception, the simple clue or one kind of a gist of it is, at the end of the out-breath, it ceases to exist. All the perceptions are ceases to exist. But our mind see it as a black hole. It develops fear. So it is jumping to the oncoming in-breath, and therefore you have no patience, you have no the contentment to see the disappearing part or dwindling of part of the in-breath. Any emotion, any sound, any thought, any pain ceases to exist. But before it is going into the tail end, your mind is jumping and get the next object. So therefore, a lack of perception you consider as a disaster. You consider as something unfortunate. You consider it as a punishment. So the day you change your perspectives and go prepared, the perception is my main culprit. It is the one creating suffering. So when compared to the perceived perception, there are some perceived unperception. So then both of them are, when they come 50-50, then your middle path is open. So therefore consider this as something. Of course it is not a result of meditation. Meditation, you go prepared for that. That is your contribution. That is your facilitation. If you facilitate it, you may find whether you are a meditator or not, there are a lot of events whereby no perception. For example, if you look at a conventional film, and whether you like it or not, there's a flash and then the darkness, and again the flash, again the darkness. This is how the movie is happening. So even if you observe the film for 1.5 hours to 2 hours, you never see the darkness. You only see the flashes. But if you study the projector, you can see in front of the continuous light, there's a cam. It is giving a darkness and again the light. It is giving 50%. But when you are looking at the film, you never see the darkness. This is how our organs are being trained. It is only catch positive. It never happy to see negatives. It appear like a disaster. It appear like a death. It appear like a nihilistic. It appear like a destructive. So therefore the Buddha says, whether you like it or not, 50% of the time is the darkness. So physics, for example, they started with the materiality. So ultimately they found, go to the atom or to the galaxy, the materiality as such is accountable only 4% of the volume. 26% of the volume is dark matter. And 70% of the volume is dark energy. We have never seen it. No instrument can touch it. So therefore physics means that 100% if you are skillful in physics, you can understand only the 4% of the truth. Other thing is dark matter and dark energy. So we learn it in the last century. Till that we were very advanced physicists. But now there is matter and antimatter and the dark matter. And they have so much of fear for this dark matter. But the Buddha, without any kind of laboratories and kind of thing, he understands, whether you like it or not, the nihilism is more than 95%. Less than 5% you have the matter. For that only the envious feeling, desire, hate and fighting and everything. If you understand this area where there is no perception, and you can understand what the sleepy life we are living, how can we awaken it to the matter as well as antimatter equally, that means perceived perception and unperceived perception, then only you can understand a healthy mind. So therefore this is a kind of a gateway opening. Just go prepared. Don't expect it, don't reject it. Be prepared, and then you can understand only the human mind can trace it. No other animal mind. So therefore the moment you go prepared, you can understand when there is no perception, there won't be any frustration. There won't be any tension. There won't be any defilement. There won't be any volition. There won't be any kind of feelings. So when that happens, don't consider it as your own creation. It's a part and parcel of the nature of creation. Only the thing is your preparedness to understand this lack of perception. It is not a mistake.
No more written questions, Bhante.
So we have another 10 minutes more for any other comments or questions.
Okay. Venerable Dhammajiva Thero. Yesterday, during the Dhamma talk, I found a burst of energy and enthusiasm to sit and meditate. After the talk, I managed to stay with the primary object of anapanasati for almost an hour. During the sitting, mind drifted out of the primary object, but posture stayed the same. It was a pleasure to sit and maintain the same posture. Didn't want to get up and move at all. Why does the same body of ours operate in different ways? Did the talk make me want to meditate and body followed that enthusiasm? How does this mood change in us work? How does this mood change in us work? What do I do to keep things more consistent?
So enthusiasm itself is arising out of its due causes. When the causes are ceases to exist, enthusiasm ceases to exist. So this is what you call the changing nature. We have no rights to ask why. The cause and effect relationship, and that lack of enthusiasm or cessation of enthusiasm is not a permanent damage. Again, when the causes, due causes come into line with, again the enthusiasm can happen. So if you go to this situation, not on the primary object, not on the feeling, not on the only the perception and kind of thing, even the enthusiasm is coming and going. So therefore, if your mind is ready to see this evolving nature, revolutionary nature, changing nature, this is the encouragement overall. Because the very enthusiasm itself, something like the faith, is rising and passing away. It is just like a breath, the increasing the tension and then reduce. So always bell-shaped curve. Whatever the phenomena, that is what the Buddha says, sankhara or volitional activities, everything, whether mental or physical, whether like or dislike, they have the bell-shaped curve. So you like the rising part, but you always hate the ceasing part. But unlucky enough, the middle part is only in the cessation part, in Nirodha. So therefore, when the enthusiasm reduces, you have to observe it. Now I am observing the dwindling it off, tapering it off, and cessation of the enthusiasm. Imagine one day you to see the cessation of sati, mindfulness, the cessation of concentration, the cessation of the wisdom so-called, that still just understand everything ceases to exist. So then you have become something beyond human. Because you are with the whole enthusiasm and whole effort and time you are developing the mindfulness. That is also ceases to exist. The day you make a reason to be glad, because mindfulness ceases to exist, concentration ceases to exist, wisdom is ceases to exist, still you know. Then you see who the hell can disturb you. Then the Buddha says, no one can disturb you, even the Mara. Even they try, they can't, because you know everything arising are subject to passing away. So secret, the middle path is always in the cessation side. So enthusiasm, when it ceases to exist, if you have any kind of preparedness for that, the sap of Dhamma, the juice of Dhamma is there. But instead if you say, I am unfortunate person, it's a mishap, that very enthusiasm ceases to exist, that is the only gain I got, then you throughout you are brooding the disappointment. So therefore change the perspectives, keep on observing, and the day you understand the cessation part, the dwindling of part is the thing, have to be very consistent, have to be very vigilant and diligent, keep on observing, and once that is geared, that is called Yoniso Manasikara, when the Yoniso Manasikara geared, every disappointment is a kind of a reiteration of the same. So, I think it's a Trungpa, he told that each and every disappointment is leading to, each and every appointment is leading to disappointment. So therefore, have an appointment with the disappointment, so we'll never get disappointed. We'll never get disappointed, so then that's the end of the suffering. So that is little beyond human nature. But that kind of a mindset is necessary, otherwise you are always negative, always discouraged, always appear like losing the grip. And if you have an appointment with a disappointment, you will never get disappointed. Okay, if there are no more comments or statements or questions, we are going to end the question and answer session. That means about 5 to 10 minutes more. That means we are going to entertain little more than 1 hour for the walking meditation, and at 3 o'clock we'll be meeting here for another sitting session, group sitting. Thank you very much for the participation.